Yes, y'all. Welcome into another episode of the Dumb Marks Podcast. It's your boys, your favorite Saturday brunch bunch, back at it again. Episode 135 of the Dumb Marks Podcast. You know how we get down and do. Recap the week that was in professional wrestling, giving you our Mount Rushmore and Jabronis of the week. Gentlemen, how are we today?
Good. I've been up since 1 a.m. Watching wrestling because I missed it all week. So, all right, ready to go.
Crash course, like you cramming for a midterm or a final.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah. The fourth member of this show will be joining in. He'll be doing a run-in at some point in time. So whenever Chris gets on, he will be on today. So we can get at it and go into it. But yeah, man, busy week pro wrestling this week. Starting Saturday with Backlash all the way through tonight. Even Rampage is on tonight due to the NBA schedule with playoffs and NHL schedule and that. So yeah, crazy busy week. A lot to get into. Right off the bat, I think I watched every show this week, and there was not a show that I disliked. Literally, Backlash, Raw, NXT, Dynamite, ROH, Impact, SmackDown last night. I thoroughly enjoyed the entire week of pro wrestling.
For the most part, yeah.
It was good.
Raw
everything ran in. Yeah, like everything ran constantly for me because I watched back to back. So
Raw,
yeah, I think obviously not every show was not everything on each show was a complete home run, but there was not an episode or a show that whenever I got done watching was like, I just wasted my time. I don't even know why I watched it. I could have caught it on a recap somewhere and read about it. Like I was fully satisfied, which I think that's the first time that's happened, maybe ever, if not a really long time, considering how much product is out there to consume. So, hats off to each and every single company because you guys thoroughly entertained me through what was a very long, trying week on my end of things. So pro wrestling was definitely my escape this week for sure. And I'm glad it was the week that it was because I definitely needed that escape. So kudos to everybody there. But yeah, that's my general overview and thoughts of the week that was. Before we get into the nitty gritty and start breaking down Mount Rushmores and Jabronis for the week that was, anything else you guys need to touch on, get into, want to discuss? Nope.
I'm good.
Nope. Before we get into it and before we end the show, I'll do it now. Happy early Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Salute. Congrats to you guys. If you haven't picked up your cards because you're a horrible son that waits till the last minute or daughter, better go out there and get them today because the shelves are scarce. If you didn't get it already.
That was me yesterday after work. Man, I went to our card section. Woo, I never saw it like that.
My sister, my sister was out shopping in the Target. I work at Target. She was like, "Get this card for your mother from you." My first text back was, "It's sold out." She showed me the picture. I was like, "No, it's sold out. We ain't got it."
You gotta get that when they come off the truck. You gotta be first to grab that up.
So my Mother's Day gift is my sister's thought. So I picked it up. I looked at the back. It was like $20. For a card? Nah, put that back on the shelf. Then I scanned it. Okay, it's $10. Reasonable. She's worth that.
Man, you keep it Hallmark in business.
Yeah, man. Like, it
was that papyrus. That expensive shit.
Like I used to cringe whenever it was like $4.49 or $4.99 for a card. Now, if you get one, cheap. You get one for less than $8. You out there hitting the lottery, man. It's crazy.
I'm
in the wrong business. Just sit there and write greeting cards all day. Start charging people. You can undercut that market. You got them 5 for $25 like Champs Tees back in the day. James tees back in the day, boy.
3XL tall tees.
Dollar General still got 99-cent cards?
I don't
do.
even think they're
There's nothing
99
in
cents.
them.
I think they're
Yeah, they do, but
$1.25 now. You think those are
It just say
99
Happy
cents?
Mother's Day on the front. That's it.
Blank
You
inside.
gotta make your own stuff
your
on
own
the
side.
inside. Yeah, you gotta make your own stuff on the inside.
Thank you.
Dearest mom.
Write all the lyrics to Dear Mama from Tupac in it.
Even though I wasn't crack. Mama.
It's either that or Boys to Men, where mama, ... you know I love you. No lie, I did that way back in the day. I did that with a Valentine's Day gift to a girl I was dating. I had Whitney Houston cassette. I'm gonna date myself for all you young pups out there that don't even know what a cassette tape is. But they used to put the lyrics to each individual song when you fold out the cover to the album. And yeah, I was out there, Whitney was lining them up and knocking them down with some of them lyrics. I was out there writing them in them Valentine's Day cards. Putting it out there. 6th grade. I was in 5th, 6th grade.
With them songs with no radio play. They don't know this one.
Nope, they don't know that one.
He said no radio play.
They don't know that. It's not on B94. That's not happening. Yeah. We out there. That's tremendous. Yeah, definitely did that. It worked for Rick James. He's out there hit after hit, boy. Yeah. So shout out again. Happy Mother's Day to all your mothers. Father's Day is around the corner. So yeah. But don't, like every other made up holiday for consumer corporate America basis.
Corporate greed.
Yeah. Don't just cherish and thank your mom just on Mother's Day. Throw it out there, more than once a year, like everything else.
She gets a birthday.
She gets a birthday. Well, I'd hate to have you as my son.
Oh, you would.
Oh, man, you would. Oh, just show up.
Did you tell her one time her birthday gift was me?
Yeah.
My presence is her presence. That's it.
My presence is your presence. That is a line. Look at you dropping bars.
I took a picture of 3 of me, like that time stop, all in different outfits, like in the same room. And I was like, imagine having 3 of these guys. You're welcome. Happy Mother's Day. It could have been worse.
Did you at least have a different sweatsuit on in each of the pictures?
Yeah.
See, Taquan, you can't do that. That's harsher than Jay just putting himself out there. My presence is your present. Are you a preacher in church out there on Sundays? Talking about I'll do it all the time. You out there. Wow, tremendous. All right, so where we at? Mount Rushmore. Let's spark it off. Let's start with the positive this week, and then we'll get to the jabronis later on. So we'll kick it off with positivity. Mount Rushmore. Who you got this week?
I'll start. For me, I have Briggs and Jensen versus Tank Leisure and Hank Walker. Actually, it shocked me, but man, that fight really piqued my interest. Like Haas just going buck wild in the ring. It made me stand a bit of attention. Was like, damn, these dudes are really going at it.
Real
on a Tuesday.
Spit that tooth right out, boy. Spit that tooth right out. I was like, damn.
I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, this match really had my interest. And I was like, for me, probably the best match for the week for me. I really enjoyed that.
Never disappoint, Taquan. You never disappoint. But that is not far off from the beginning of a joke, for sure. 100%. Yeah. No, when they announced it, and I'm like, okay, let me flip back to the basketball game. You know what I mean? Like, let me see what else is on. But I left it on, and I was like, like by the end of it, I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna get out of these 4.
Yes, I like give me round 2.
Yeah,
they were trading real shots in there. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, run that back for sure. And I like that Briggs and Jensen were more serious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even with the outfit, I'm not a huge fan of the gear that they come out in to begin with, but they at least it was like, all right, you got, I think it was Briggs that kind of looked like Dean Ambrose light with the water on the tank top, and I was like, oh, let's not go that.
You don't have the shorts and cowboy boots.
Yeah.
All this combination.
But that was not a match when announced that I thought would be like my 1A or 1B of that entire show. Like, no clue.
Go home.
But no, I mean, NXT as a whole was tremendous. I thought the women's title tournament matches were good. Kiana and that was a little sloppy with her and Valkyria I can't pronounce that last name. It looked like they were off a little bit, but the tournament got off to a good start. Mello and Braun, A++. I thought Trick had his best match in NXT.
Yes,
he looked really good. So yeah, there was not a miss from NXT this week, in my opinion. I thought the whole show, top to bottom, was really good.
I left thinking losing 17 people, they're off to a good start.
Exactly.
Yes, they are.
People stepped up. They got that opportunity.
Yes, they did.
You got to fill new slots with new talent, and
that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, even the lower card people have something going on right now, which I think adds to the feel of the show. Like you even got you got the whole Schism, Creed Brothers, Joe Gacy. You got Ava and Ivy Nile. Like you have even people that are on that lower card level right now. Even they're involved in a storyline that makes sense at this point. So yeah, kudos to them. Kudos to the creative team down there. And kudos to the talent for stepping up when your name's called.
Yes.
Like Mike Tomlin likes to say, next man up. They all stepped up and continued the standard is the standard, so to speak.
Yes, keep it consistent.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Now, do I expect that type of performance each and every single Tuesday? No. But if you give me more of that on a consistent basis each and every single week, then I'm not going to be thinking about the names that left and got called up.
Yes.
Which is a good thing because I didn't even think about the people that left on Tuesday.
No.
So that's how you know they hit a home run because I wasn't thinking about Indy leaving. I wasn't thinking about Grayson leaving. You know what I mean? Pretty Deadly. Wasn't thinking about them being gone out the tag team division. Like they definitely hit a home run on Tuesday night.
Glad you brought that one up. That was a good one.
Which is a surprise. Don, you've been on the NXT run of late as far as your Mount Rushmore for the week. They got you.
For me, they're the most consistent show. Like they're the ones that I can actually watch. Like I could watch that live. I don't have to fast forward through any of that stuff.
You're getting good wrestling and storytelling all throughout. And you're not getting a match just to have a match for no reason. Everybody's involved in the storyline, like you said. So everything's leading to something.
And who would have thought that was the case when they switched over to 2.0 with the color guard and the rainbows and all that other stuff,
the gimmicks and
all the cheesy gimmicks, even the cheesy gimmicks aren't necessarily like so cheesy and cringy, but yeah, they make sense. It's like okay, hopefully this is just your starting point and you develop this into something else, but. It doesn't feel like they're running a plumber, a carpenter, and a garbage man out there, and they're stuck with like early '90s. So yeah.
And then it's all young talent too. And me with young talent, I like to see the new people. See what I'm going to get in the future.
All right, that's not a bad one. I wasn't expecting that one. That was a little bit out of no.
Hey, if he signs to NXT, he'll make him like a pasta maker.
Every week.
Instead of, you know how Mr. Fuji used to throw the salt in the eyes, he'd be throwing flour in people's eyes or yeast or pizza dough. God. Every week this dude is unbelievable. Finds a way to bring in Luigi Primo every single week on this show. Unbelievable. Ty, if you continue to run that streak out, you continue to run that streak out and get him in. I'll send you a shirt from the website for free.
One viral video.
Yeah, one viral video, and Taekwon's got 52 weeks worth of references on Pizza Maker. It's unbelievable. He's like, bet. Yeah, look, carry that out, and we'll send you a free Dunmarks t-shirt for a Luigi Primo reference 52 weeks out of the year. Unbelievable. Jay, what you got?
I mean, I got a 1A and a 1B. I got to go Bloodline for B for making me feel something.
Oh boy,
storyline wise.
Oh boy,
it's better and better.
I think it's just family. You can you just feel something more, and they just did it for me. But 1A got to be Bianca and Iyo. Just the match and this being, I see people saying they should have pulled the switch. No, that not right there. That wasn't the moment. But hopefully this gets more eyes on Iyo.
So
because it's her time to shine.
Bianca is very closely teetering on that John Cena level of babyface run, right? Yeah. She is. And kudos to her for going a solid year without getting the boos, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe it could have just been the crowd there.
It was
SmackDown last night. I really didn't pick up on it too much, and I think they did a good job of having Asuka come out, spraying the mist, and getting the sympathy back on Bianca to where they kind of squashed any potential for that. We'll see if it holds up and changes as they progress in that story.
I think he would have had it in Tennessee, in their hometown, regardless.
That's true too. I forgot they were in Tennessee last night.
But it was like lost my train of thought for a second. Where's it going with it?
But even Iyo, maybe this will get you back on track. The match with Iyo, I was expecting that from her. Mm-hmm. I knew that's what she can deliver. There was no question. She just never had the opportunity to deliver it. Mm-hmm. So them going out there and damn near stealing the show, if not having match of the night in some arguments, was not unexpected at all. And then to carry it over to last night, I thought the backstage segment was great. Her facials and the disgust and the eye rolls and everything else that she's giving Bayley as Bayley's talking. Yeah. It's like, you can see it playing out. They're definitely getting to that point where they're going to split her off on her own, which I'm fine with, because you can let Bayley and Dakota run. I think they work better as a pair than the three of them as a 3-woman stable, so to speak. So I thought she, from the performance in the ring and then the performance outside of the ring, he is definitely up there as far as a Mount Rushmore candidate for the week, 100%.
Yeah, it was more so Iyo. It wasn't more Bianca hate. It was more because you see they cheered her when she came out and cheered her when she won. It was more like time for a change. We don't hate Bianca. It's just we want to see a new champ. That's what I got from it.
Did you just do a run-in by yourself?
I did.
No music, no nothing. Snuck in.
We don't have that production level yet.
He has the master control. No.
Yeah, in the back. Yeah, I made my own music.
Yeah. Well, at least it wasn't a pre-tape segment where you're looking like you're reading off cue cards, but we can get into that later. Look at you sporting another. Oh, he dropped off. Look at this guy. You got
How you guys doing?
another new Dumb on merch shirt there.
Trying some stuff out. See how it works.
See that? I see that. For you to get caught up, Taekwon managed to work in a Luigi Primo reference again. So I laid the challenge out there to him. I said, Taekwon, if you can run a Luigi Primo pizza maker joke, quip, quirk, statement, and you can run that through the rest of the year, we're sending Taekwon a free shirt at the end of the year. For all that hard work of getting 52 Luigi Primo references in.
He's already been doing it as it goes, so
he's about 52 deep already.
I was gonna say,
we had some criteria for this, like how, like, did he just say it at any time, or does it actually have to like be like a real reference?
So this was the reference for this week. We need because we were talking about NXT and gimmicks, and I was like, even the newer people with gimmicks aren't as cheesy as they were back when 2.0 started, you know, and they're not just running a garbage man, a dentist, and something else out there, and then he dropped we need a pizza cook gimmick. So yeah.
How we do it?
Not putting that one up top, but yeah. So we're on Jason's Mount Rushmore. Donald's Mount Rushmore was Briggs and Jensen. Yeah. So I don't know if you got anything you want to chime in on his Mount Rushmore NXT as a whole from this past week.
No, I didn't see NXT this week.
Okay. All right. And then Jason had 1A and 1B. So he had Bianca and Iyo as his 1A, and then the Bloodline as his 1B. Okay. So we were in the middle of going over the Iyo performance as far as what she did in ring, out of ring, the split that's definitely coming from Damage Control, and that standpoint. So that's kind of where we're at to get you caught up to right now.
Caught up now. So.
Yeah, with Iyo, even her hand gestures whenever they came back from break and she was doing like this and that stuff was like, there you go.
Oh yeah, like if she was Vanna White, they'd have fired her off with a fortune right away.
But like just from Friday, it's like SmackDown's where I'm leaning towards. Want to see more because you got the Bloodline storyline. You got. I want to see what happens with Iyo, Damage Control, and then
So, all right. So pause. Let's do a little sidebar real quick on that. When the draft finalized and everything was finished, and we're still getting crossover stuff right now.
Yes.
Okay. But I looked at everything as it laid out, and I'm like, Raw got robbed, so to speak. Like they didn't get anybody. They're going to have a hard time filling out a show because I thought all the talent was on SmackDown.
They got Dom.
And I mean, you look at SmackDown last night, like I know it was a little skewed because you had the heavyweight title tournament, but I mean, you look at the 6 people that were involved in those 2 matches, right? You got Damage Control, you got the Bloodline. I mean, and that doesn't even count, the people that weren't on the show that are still up there as far as talent is concerned. So, like,
Pretty Deep jumped in looking like vets backstage. Yeah. I was sold.
Yes, boy.
I was sold. Give me more of them.
Can't wait for that. Put them brawling brutes to shame.
I mean, I think they've done well with introducing the people from NXT and the spots that they had them in. Cameron Grimes getting the squash win last night was tremendous on Corbin. Like I was, happy with that. That was good. I think out of everybody that's had a moment or an interview or whatever so far, Pretty Deadly stole the show for me. And I hate saying that because those 2 mother bleepers.
How do you hate Pretty Deadly?
Listen,
best tag team in the world.
They're starting to win me over more and more and more. And I don't want to admit it. I'm fighting it with everything in me to not like them.
We got to get a yes boy from Steve.
But last
check.
But last night, man, they with the whole Butch line, and then Ridge, you had to get your mom to help you read, and Shane, sorry about your loss. You lost. It's like, oh, these guys. Like, and I think the thing that even makes me more mad is that they can go in the ring. Like, they're not just an entertaining heel bad guy gimmick that makes you hate them because they're so obnoxious and everything else. They can go in the ring. And so I'm trying not to let that praise come out of me yet. Pause, but
as soon as the merch come out, me and Steve got it on the shelf.
I think it's out.
So,
I think it was a Yes Boy T-shirt.
I got to find it.
So back to the original sidebar. When you saw the draft results, did you feel like SmackDown was overloaded compared to Raw?
Storyline wise, yeah. People wise, no.
The people wise, no. Yeah, I'm with Jason. Storyline, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't surprised with SmackDown because it's the network TV show, so I'm not surprised that they did try to load it up, but I didn't feel one way or the other.
All right. Maybe that was just me then. I thought Raw got jobbed out in the draft, but all right. So 1A, Bianca, Iyo. Your 1B, the Bloodline. This guy.
Is that even still
Bloodline? I know everybody wanted Cody to win, and I know Roman hasn't been seen since Mania, the night after Mania when Brock did his thing on Cody. You can't take the belt off Roman. Like you can't. You can't. It's not there yet. It's not time. There's still so much to be told story-wise. Like this new wrinkle in and him, like last night was just, for me, it was a perfect segment. From his play to the crowd, his play, getting himself over, building Solo up, and you could see it coming. You could see it coming a mile away what the plan was going to be. And they still hit it, and Heyman delivered the line. Jimmy and Jay's reaction was perfect, and I was like, okay, sold. I'm not even mad that Roman and Solo. I want Roman and Solo to win.
I do too. I do. Yes.
And then to walk off and look at the belt.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
I love Heyman when he was looking at the belt earlier.
I literally yelled at the TV because I started SmackDown late, so I was watching it from the beginning, but it was already like almost 9:00 whenever I started it. So I was watching it from the beginning. Give him everything.
The truth belt, the I-95,
the Triple H picture with him with all the titles.
But when he got up near the top of the stage, and the belt was there, and they showed him looking at it, and all of a sudden they cut back to the ring, and I yelled at I'm like, no, put it back on Roman. Like, why are you cutting away from this right now? Like, that's the shot. Why are you moving the shot?
I'd have had him throw it over his shoulder.
Flash back. Just picked it up and walked off with it.
Picked it up, try it out.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So I'm back in 100% on the Bloodline again. Like,
Heyman staring at the belt when they came out was funny too. He just kept turning around. Was like,
so yeah, that was definitely top-notch A segment for me. And then the backstage continuation with Jimmy and Jay thinking the LWO were laughing at them, set up a match for next week. Like, that snowball continues to roll and gain momentum and pick back up again. So I don't need Roman every single week because if he's going to come out and give me A+ segments like he did last night, I don't care when he shows up. I'm going to tune in and watch, which is where they're at with him. So everybody else that's whining and complaining about not having a champ on the show each week, like that's it. Like
come in and knock out of the park for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then come back again.
Yeah.
Who do you think was going to apologize first, Jimmy or Jay? Because that was my struggle.
I thought Jimmy.
You thought Jimmy?
Yeah.
No, see, I thought Jay would because Jay knows. Like going back to the very beginning, like Jay knows truly what Roman's capable of, and storyline it fits because Jay's been battling with Sammy chirping in his ear as far as what Roman's going to do to you when he no longer sees you as a viable option to support his overall goals. Like, yeah, you know, Jimmy's still oblivious to it. He doesn't see it yet, which is why he's laughing and chuckling and hitting Jay. Like, come on, this dude, he's cracking jokes right now. And I thought Roman referencing back to the commercial, the Goodfellas commercial for WrestleMania was perfect before he gave him the little face smudge.
He just funny.
Hit him with a stiff arm, like he was Adrian Peterson. Just and then looked at him and flexed, like, you gonna do something? I was like, oh, this is unbelievable. This is great. So, yeah, I got nothing else to say about that. That was tremendous. Right back in line with it. Oh. Anything else from SmackDown that may Chris, what's on your is SmackDown on you? Something from SmackDown on your Mount Rushmore?
No, not from SmackDown.
From the land of AEW.
It will be from the land of AEW.
SmackDown,
I didn't watch SmackDown last night, so
I'm surprised they did the tournament matches back to back, but then I'm like, oh, it's a 2-hour show. You got to get them in order to have the main event. So I enjoyed watching them back and forth. I really thought they were gonna after Edge's promo.
Thank goodness.
After Edge's online promo. Yeah, absolutely. After Edge's online promo on Twitter, I'm like, I sent it over to the group chat. Like, there's Donald's Dark Horse, the legend. We're gonna put the world title that he never lost back on him. But they didn't. AJ was the right call, especially because you had Seth, so you knew you had to go with a heel from SmackDown.
They went out to try to give you a young man's match.
Well, that was the other thing that I saw online whenever they announced all the competitors for the heavyweight title tournament. People brought up the age, the average medium age, and I think Theory's the only one that's under 35 out of all 12 competitors.
Yeah. Didn't even notice.
And that I didn't.
I was just enjoying the matches as they were. Didn't even notice. I just didn't want Edge to win.
A lot of them are still talent that you hope that they push at some point. You know, so
yes.
But getting AJ back in a title picture is good. He's been out of it for far too long.
Yeah.
Especially because I believe he said when he signed his last deal that this was going to be his last run. Things may change, obviously, but you know, and he's going to have time added back on because of his injury. So, yeah, I mean, but most wrestlers will tell you they don't feel like they hit their prime till 35, 36, 37.
Right? Definitely true, Mars.
So, yeah, but no, I
out here feeling like past our prime.
Tournament wise, do you guys have a problem with SmackDown being involved in the tournament? Does it give away the finish? It's like, why would you draft in the SmackDown if you're going to have a SmackDown guy win the World Heavyweight Tournament?
Yeah, and you don't clarify if it's a Raw title.
I think they don't even know what they're doing.
I mean, as long as you have, if AJ wins, as long as you have him, well, no, it's the whole OC.
It's the whole OC.
No. If it wasn't AJ, I'd say you'd be exclusive to Raw because you won the championship.
whenever the OC came out, my first thought was like, who are these people?
Oh, damn.
I haven't seen them in so long, and then it hit me was like, oh, okay. Like, who are they?
I think AJ and Seth will have an absolute banger of a match.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have those two wrestled each other? Or is this their first time? I was thinking that last night. I'm like, I don't remember AJ and Seth actually facing each other.
Yeah, I don't remember. Fan.
So if this is the first time we're getting AJ and Seth, it's their first match?
No, that they've wrestled before, it looks like.
Money in the Bank 2019. Okay. So we haven't seen this matchup a lot. We got one Money in the Bank 19, maybe first time. So yeah, regardless if it's their first or second match, we haven't seen it a lot. So it's fresh. And anytime you can give me a fresh matchup between two guys that are arguably, top 5 in the world and in most people's arguments, you could make a case for each individual. To me, that's going to be a match that's going to steal the show. So I'm sold on that from a title match standpoint to crown a new world heavyweight champion. All right, Chris, take us to AEW town.
All right, we'll head over to AEW, and I, after coming off a couple of weeks where I wasn't feeling AEW, they brought me back this week a bit, and I got to give it up to the main event of Omega versus Mox, and it's rare if I'm putting Mox in a match.
Whoa, May 13th, 2023.
And I'm not giving the credit to Mox necessarily, but I'm actually he's involved in.
Okay.
Right. But I got to give it up because for me, whenever there's a stipulation, I brought it up on the show. I didn't like that they were doing a steel cage match this week because to me, a steel cage match is a blow off match. That's the culmination. And I knew that that's not what this was going to be. So that's one of the reasons why going in, I wasn't a fan of this match. But a lot of steel cage matches I don't enjoy because they're typically, and I think WWE's really kind of trained us on this, that they're not necessarily a steel cage match. It's a match that's inside a steel cage, where you're not utilizing the cage at all or anything. It's just a regular match with a pinfall or submission, whatever. This was actually it reminded me of 80 steel cage matches on Wednesday, where they utilized the cage and everything.
It's funny you say that because AEW, the steel cage match, escapes don't count.
Yeah.
So it's, you know what I mean? It's funny that you say that, even though the main escape drops to the floor first, feet hit the floor, you win. That's not how you win the match in AEW, but yet it still made you feel like an old school
a steel cage match.
So
yeah.
That, kudos to them for even taking that away from your thought process.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed the match. Yeah, I mean, AEW and me, it is. Sometimes I'm really all for them during the week, and the past couple of weeks I wasn't, but this week brought me back. We'll see how they do next week now.
Again, to start the show, Chris, I said I watched every single show this week. Backlash, Raw, NXT, Dynamite, right? Impact, ROH, SmackDown. There wasn't a show that I disliked. I was happy with every single show. Every show entertained me. And AEW was definitely stronger this week than what it was last week, from a show standpoint.
And you said and I heard you say that not to say that every show hit, every segment was a hit, and I will get to that later on when we go through the journey of the week. But from what I watched, I mean, I didn't get to watch everything this week, but from what I watched, I enjoyed.
What'd you think of the Callis turn?
I'm okay with it.
I was expecting it. I wasn't expecting in that match, but I was expecting it coming at some point.
Did you see the video? Did you see the clip that they put out on Twitter afterwards? I think it might have been the next day.
I didn't.
So Thursday, I think it was Thursday they put the clip out. He was running out of the arena, and Marvez was in the back trying to stop him, to interview him, to ask him, what the hell? You know what I mean? And he was on the phone the entire time, and he hit him with the no comment, and ran off. But he was on the phone talking to somebody. So people were out there speculating who was he on the phone with as far as who's coming in that he's hitching his wagon to next.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to turn on your family if it doesn't lead to a bigger storyline between Kenny and the person that's coming in.
Does it have to be
somebody
somebody
coming in? Somebody coming back?
I'm even wondering if he's just hitching to somebody that's already there. You know, he's kind of played a little bit against Takeshita. You have a storyline there for Omega and Takeshita, possibly.
But Takeshita's not going to be a heel. So you wouldn't put him in that role, I don't think. You know what I mean?
Elevate him pretty quick, though.
Oh, yeah, 100%. If his first big-time feud is Kenny Omega, yeah, I would say that elevates you for sure.
We've only seen him as, happy to be their babyface Takeshita, pretty much. So,
what about Kota Ibushi?
Ibushi could work. I've heard that New Japan's offered him a contract. I saw that this week. Apparently, everything's kind of been ironed out between the two of them.
And what about Will Ospreay? Because Ospreay's rumored to already be booked for All In Wembley.
Okay.
So
the rematches could happen.
If you have the Callis turn, I mean, Callis is Canadian, so he fits right into the United Empire gimmick. And then you can draw back on the Ospreay Omega match from Wrestle Kingdom and run that back at All In, which I think would be smart from a booking the show standpoint. So I don't know, they got me interested in the story, right? And then on top of Callis running out on the phone, they showed another backstage clip of the Bucks carrying out Hangman, or the Bucks carrying out Omega, and Omega said something along the lines of like, if you can't trust family, who can you trust? So this may set him down a road of not trusting people. And then you got Hangman that needs to come back into the fold, especially if they're going to continue with the BCC. So you get the Elite versus the BCC. Like, people were like, "Oh, AEW has no storylines." Well, no, there's a story in this.
Yes,
for sure. 100%.
This is actually my second favorite story in wrestling right now.
They've been developing. It's not sometimes it's not every week, but there's been a couple storylines at least going on that I've enjoyed.
And I think that's when you watch both products, I think that's the biggest difference between the shows is that AEW is not the continued every single week story that we're used to getting. So they're telling the story and they may throw some shit in there that seems like a one-off and this and that, but they always sprinkle. To me, AEW is kind of more like a Marvel where they're giving you Easter eggs each and every single episode. It's just whether or not you pick up on them for it to click and make sense whenever the story does pick up before a big time show or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, well, they didn't forget about it because they did XYZ.
And you brought it up too. Like they do stuff on BTE or they put stuff on Twitter or YouTube, whatever. So it's like, it's not always on TV. And we've talked about the pluses and negatives of that on here before, but yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it.
Did you like the use of the pillars this week and having each one of them get a video package to kind of continue that story?
I can't say I loved it or hated it. It was what it was for me.
Yes. Yeah. Yes and no. Yes, because they were involved in the week somehow. No, because we already heard their stories from them in the ring.
Yeah, that's where I liked each individual package. It's just like you said, Donald. I kind of felt like the message was the same. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get that generally in any big feud. You're gonna get like the backstage stuff or the video packages ahead of time. So, but I'd rather have that now than the week of Double or Nothing because I'd rather have them do something Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. Bryan Danielson became an instant meme after his reaction to the Callis turn, which I thought was tremendous. I think, like, I enjoyed start to finish, it was great. Thank God I saw Miro on my television again. I missed that big Bulgarian brute so much. Like
That was shocking.
I was like, okay, let's go. Thunder Rosa showed up. Little mix. And then I hear she's not even cleared yet.
I heard that too.
So they definitely set the table as far as the big announcement this week. Which
the big announcement. Yeah.
Not
the worst kept secret in pro wrestling.
Yeah. So we're getting the Saturday show. But yeah, seeing Miro back, I'm like, all right. I immediately started thinking of, okay, who do I want to see him wrestle?
Yes. Like, let's do something with him.
Get him started right back up, because he was one of my favorite characters in the company. He was absolutely killing that gimmick.
Yes, he was.
The promos, the matches, everything. So,
like, let's do something.
Speaking of legends, Donald.
That's not where I thought the transition was going, but
yeah. I keep you on your toes, bro. I keep you on your toes.
I thought you were going to Ty's comment there for a second.
No, I didn't see Taquan's comment. I didn't scroll down fast enough. Yeah. Pause. Speaking of legends, Donald, there was a certain legend on Wednesday night that I thought absolutely stole the show. And that was Christian Cage.
He's talking. I'm okay.
That promo.
You can talk all you want.
And the amount of booze and hate, and he smirked when I forget what they started chanting at him, but he smirked. And whenever I saw that smirk, I thought, oh, he's in there like, I got every single one of yous on a string right now. It was that smirk that a pro wrestler gives where he knows he has the crowd and he can say and do whatever he wants to get whatever reaction he wants to get from them. I thought he absolutely killed that promo. The shots at Arn, the shots at Brock, his son, the shots of Wardlow, like everybody got daddy issues. I'm like, this is tremendous. Like one of my favorite AEW promos in recent memory, because I thought he absolutely killed it.
The way it was sounding, saying he wants to fight for that TNT title.
It sounded like it.
That's what it sounded like. I didn't hear Luchasaur's name once out of his mouth. I want that title.
Get the Powerbomb Symphony. That's what he's going to get. But how many times, how many promos has Christian done? And we've come on here and said it was a bad promo, though.
Not very many. Yeah. I mean, Christian's one of the Christian's one of the better talkers in pro wrestling and has been for pretty much his entire run.
AEW. He's been really good.
I mean, the storyline that he was doing there for a while got stale, but because it kept just prolonging, but he gets the job done in the promos.
And I think if he doesn't have the injury, I think we look back at that feud with Jungle Boy a little bit differently and have a different view and opinion on it if he's not out with the injury and like how they had to start all that. But I thought that, like the chef's kiss, the walk off at the end, just grabbing the mic off of Shivani, saying with it, and then hey Detroit, kiss my ass, and just flip the mic and walks out. I was like, this is pro wrestling. Like that's what I like about pro wrestling right there, because every single person in that arena hated his guts, and he knew it and could just toy with them however he wanted. So yeah, kudos.
I wanted to chime in, but y'all just named everybody with skip buttons on me. You went Moxley to Miro to Christian.
All right, so then chime in with what you like from AEW.
Can we talk Anna Jay and Julia Hart?
Jason's gonna do MJF just be like mid.
Can we talk about Phoenix and Claudio?
Claudio. Another good match.
That was a great match. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jason loves milk, Taquan. That's his favorite drink. Whole milk, not 2%, not skim, whole milk. Jason loves whole milk. No, Claudio and Ray was absolutely tremendous. I like the double jeopardy stipulation. That was something that was different. I was like, okay. I like that. Makes sense why they're having the match. Gives each guy a motivation to want to win the match. Ray Phoenix is ridiculous. Like he's still just shocks me every time he's in the ring. It's unbelievable.
Dude's ring awareness is amazing.
Mhm.
So just crazy that his mind thinks that way, and he is where he is, where he's at times. It's still like, yo, how did he get here?
You know how like everybody says like, oh, I'm already like 3 steps ahead of you. Like I don't even know how many steps he is ahead in his matches, because he just goes from one thing to another and it's flawless every time.
Seamlessly.
Yeah. And the Anna Jay Julia Hart match, yo, give me that again. Like I know
I had nothing bad to say about
I know that seemed like a complete one-off, but they've been telling that story.
Mhm.
So it's one of those situations where if you're not watching everything, you're going to miss out on it and just think it's thrown in there. But I thought it was a strong match from both of them.
I went in thinking like, do we need another Anna Jay extreme match, tester metal match? But I enjoyed it.
She apparently likes them though, or they wouldn't keep giving them to her.
But I thought Julia showed up and showed out as much as, say Anna, for sure. So So sorry for clouding everybody that you hate and propping them up, Jay. So all right. Anything else AEW? We good there?
We'll come back to it later.
Okay, I figured for jabronis.
Yeah.
My Mount Rushmore this week, Bad Bunny. I can't not put him there. Arguably one of the top 5 entrances I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
I've gotten chills a couple times with entrances with people. AJ show I've said it before on the show. AJ showing up at the Rumble. I think Hunter coming back from the torn quad. There's a couple times where it got me. The way they shot that entrance, and when that music hit and that entire arena started singing along, I got goosebumps talking about it right now. Like I can't tell you how many times I have watched that clip, and every single time it gets me. And then he goes out there and has arguably the match of the night on the card. I love the tie-ins with Savio, Carlito, like all that. But Bunny, I know. I think I don't know if it was on Busted Open, but somebody said Bad Bunny is he the greatest celebrity wrestler
Mark Henry
of all time.
Yeah,
it was a Mark Henry on Busted Open and said that. And I started thinking back of like celebrities that came in, like not too many I would even put on Bunny's level. Like,
True.
I think the current generation of celebrity wrestlers is the best we've ever seen. Where you have Bunny, you have Logan Paul, you have Pat McAfee. They can all do it in the ring.
Out of those three, who are you taking? Bunny, Logan, and Paul. Who are you? Or Bunny, Logan, and McAfee. Out of those 3, who are you taking?
Me, I'm gonna take Paul. And like I said all 3 of them, like all of them. But his matches I've enjoyed the most.
Out of like matches, probably Paul.
Matches.
Paul gets it. Yeah.
Matches Paul.
As much as this pains me to say it, because I'm a hashtag put the strap on Pat guy with McAfee, I think I'm taking Bunny.
Bunny takes the bumps.
He does.
But I think
he sells like he's been in the business for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like if you go back and watch that match, the way he sells is unbelievable. He didn't seem out of place in spots. His punches look believable. You see the emotion on his face. Like it's just he absolutely knocks it out of the park.
In that match, because of just his friendship with Damien, helps. Someone that both of them are trusting each other in that match and able to do whatever they can do, and that always comes off so much better on TV.
Yep, we always say that. Best friends having matches with each other always comes off.
And I know you guys on this show aren't the biggest Damien Priest fans, but you want to talk about somebody's stock that's risen backstage in the company. Like everybody back there was already high on him, and then he goes out and delivers that.
I'll give him 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. What?
That I enjoyed him.
He did look good.
Bunny could have wrestled a dog out there.
Did.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Come on now. Let's not do that.
He was wrestling a pair of white trunks to me. I didn't. Damien Priest does nothing. Nothing for me.
And Priest was.
When have I ever been a fan? So.
I mean, Priest is so good that on my Facebook algorithm, like Punishment Martinez videos.
That did pop up on mine.
I'm like, hold up.
Tony Khan's like, oh, let me go in here for a second. Let me get that algorithm right.
Yeah, but that, you know, I'm giving Bunny my Mount Rushmore, but Damien definitely played a role in it. But that was. For me, that was the moment of the week. There was nothing that topped that for me. And that Puerto Rico crowd, I know it was 18 years since the last time they had a show there, but you want to talk about like arguing for best crowds in pro wrestling. I know the UK gets a ton of love for how they are, but that crowd down there, boy, from SmackDown all the way through Backlash, the energy, the enthusiasm, it was just, I don't think they could have asked for a better time there.
No.
All the way around.
And honestly, I watched that
and
I watched that event and I thought to myself, you know, as much as I know WWE loves to do large outdoor venues for WrestleMania and stuff, this is why I like indoor events.
Yes.
Just for that crowd reaction, because you feel everything from that.
Yeah, 1,000%. So, but yeah, so that's my Mount Rushmore this week. So,
Jason, what did you say on Saturday? That Salvio out there getting some major shots in. Like he was trying to challenge the tribal chief for somebody.
He was calling back on
so Mount Rushmore, Mount Rushmore of the week. We got Briggs and Jensen, NXT in that tag match. We got Omega and Moxley, AEW. Jay split his. He went 1A, 1B, Iyo and Bianca in the Bloodline storyline. And I got Bad Bunny from Backlash. So there's your Mount Rushmore for the week that was in pro wrestling. Hit us up on social media. Let us know which ones we got right, which ones we got wrong, and give us your Mount Rushmore of the week. Yeah, Carlito. Well, you knew that was going to happen down there. Like, yeah. And I loved his tweet the next day. Did you see what he tweeted out on Sunday? Said my indie booking price just went up. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Shout out Fat Joe.
I think Carlito woke Dawn up. Carlito? Off the music. I didn't even know who was coming out.
He really did.
Jabroni. Enough positivity on the show. Let's get into the shits. Jabronis of the week. Who we got?
I'll start with mine. Natty staring down Rhea for her obligatory title shot. Natty got to quit this. Natty got to go. I'm tired of seeing her just
her rush to the ring.
Curveball. Curveball. Throw a little curve out here. Because rumor to be Judgment Day looking to add a new member. What do you think about Natty joining Judgment Day?
No. She got so many turns like the Big Show. It's unreal.
She's not on show's level. Let's not do that to her. Come on.
Come
on.
Let's
not do that to her. Nah. Natty's done. I'm tired of seeing her on my TV. Wow.
Oh, I'm not tired of seeing Natty on my TV, but I don't know if I want to see her on Judgment Day.
All right.
No.
So you got Natty.
You calling the girl from AEW? Who's the one always go through the champions always go through? Nyla Rose.
Yeah.
Let's go through Natty first.
But if you look at Raw's roster, who else is Rhea going to face? From a woman's perspective, who else is there right now to put her in a feud against, other than Natty?
Oh, I forgot she's Raw.
And don't forget too, we're coming up to Saudi Arabia, and I don't think there's been a show that Natty hasn't wrestled on Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm. True.
But that is true, but still, get off my TV. Find somebody.
Yeah. All right. So we got Natty as a jabroni with the stare down. Okay. Who's next?
I got two on mine again. Got to go to the graphics team with WWE Women's Championship, like logos up in the sky, the little VR thing, like the belt that floats through the air, and it turns to the IC Championship.
I didn't see that.
Just seamlessly, like nothing happened. It was like IC Championship. And I'm gonna go through the V trigger through the cage.
Oh, really?
Are you kidding
like
me?
that?
My man could have snapped his leg in half. That was the dumbest shit I ever seen.
Hey,
that took me back to Lashley Umaga in their steel cage match whenever they went through it. That's the flashback I got when they went through it.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I was like, bravo for that.
I don't mind the spot. It was just like the landing. Like you could have put Omega on the shelf for good with that one.
Hey, you got to show off for Mr. Dave. You know how that goes.
I don't like the gap that AEW has in their steel cage, because there was one point, like I think Omega hit something, like he kind of like fell in between a little bit. It's just like we need to work on that.
You just had that random bar on the bottom. That's better
than the zip tied cage.
All right, Chris, you're a jabroni.
My jabroni is gonna go on AEW as well, but I'm going with that House of Black match. That was like, come on, like had no interest in that whatsoever, and like you kind of build up like a different style match, and okay, we're just gonna show off the lights to the crowd.
So,
while you're fighting the best friends, you know, in the hell are they?
So I'm watching that match, and my sister's Amazon goes off, and it's playing like just a rock thing in the background. And I'm trying to figure out, is that coming from the TV with the lights? Because every time it would come on, they start, cutting to the back where the lights was going on the screen. Like the white things was going through the screen. I'm like, is this the match? I'm just sitting there like going crazy. Like, no, what the fuck is this? Like, because it was playing in my head the whole time. I'm like, this match is, what's the point? But it was my sister's Amazon.
You got that 4D. You got that 4D feeling.
I'm like, are you playing music with the moves? I couldn't.
Need that cool mist coming out of the TV too for
I'm not going to shit on that. I'm not going to shit on the House of Black match.
I think
it's different. It's different if it's them making it their own thing with the trios titles.
I like the atmosphere. I just hated they fought best friends, just best friends.
There could be something different.
For me, pro wrestling wise, I don't have a jabroni. I can't like I said, I was thoroughly entertained all week long. So for me, there's nobody that really stunk up the joint enough for me to give them a jabroni of the week. Maybe Tony Khan with his reading of cue cards. He's just not in front of the camera that needs to be on there.
No.
But no, like I said, there's nothing that I could see from jabroni of the week wise.
Outside of wrestling?
Outside of wrestling, it would, and it's not even a jabroni of the week because they are who we thought they were, but it's the Pittsburgh Pirates. Getting all you fool's gold out there.
I was going to say, did they get your hopes up or something?
Oh my God. They're great. They're in first place. They're 20-8. It's amazing. They've gone 1-11 since. There's your Pittsburgh Pirates.
They played somebody in their division.
No, they didn't. That's the bad thing. They're still in first place because the division's so bad. But yeah, no, I can't. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to rain on anybody's parade because nothing stood out and stunk to the point where I had to put it on jabroni of the week this week. So we're good there. All right. So that's it. Mount Rushmore jabronis of the week. Hit us up and let us know. What do we got for a little game this week?
Oh, give me a second here. I'm going to go back to a debate this. So this week, with the whole World Heavyweight Championship coming back, I found a list of what people ranked as the top 10 World Heavyweight Champions in WWE history. So this is 2002, whenever it started, ended in 2013. We got Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, Kurt Angle, King Booker, The Undertaker, Edge, John Cena, CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan. Do you guys have any problems with this list at all?
Are these how they rank them?
This is how they rank them. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, nah, I'm not buying this ranking at all.
What was
For me, this list comes down to two people. It's Edge or Triple H. As far as who I think as the world heavyweight champion in WWE with the big gold. Those are the two that immediately come to mind.
Edge is the most at 7-time champ.
What belt did JBL hold?
WWE.
Oh, WWE.
Oh, okay.
But yes, this is just big gold.
Okay.
Just big gold. Yeah. To me, it's Hunter or it's Edge.
JBL would be in your top 10.
If it was on this list, yeah. I enjoy JBL's champ.
One of the longest reigning champs.
I'm gonna go Triple
H.
H.
I got Hunter and Edge are 1-2 for me in whatever order. You can flip flop it depending on the day of the week or the time that you ask me this question. I can make an argument for either guy. So other than that, I think Batista. Yeah. I think Batista at 3 is slotted correctly. I'd probably put Booker at 4 and Orton at 5.
Interesting. I'll go Hunter 1, Edge 2. I'll take Taker 3, Batista 4.
See, I don't think of Taker holding any titles. That's I know he's held titles, and I know he's been a multi-time heavyweight champion, whether it's WWE or the Big Gold. But I just don't like.
He's never going to be
title range
champion.
So there was actually a couple of different lists that I was looking at, and this was just one specific one that I went off of. But one of them had Taker as the number 1. I was like, no, like I would never think Taker as the first person whenever I see Big Gold.
No, because during that time period, like Edge, Taker, and Batista, they were round robin in the belt a lot during that time. So that's how I consider Taker, like with this belt, is with the other 3. But Hunter's definitely number 1.
I don't think you can even have Cena on this list. Like Cena was spinner belt. That like he's WWE. Like I don't even remember Cena holding Big Gold. Like honestly, whenever I'm going back through my Rolodex of like I can't even picture Cena holding Big Gold.
I think he was 2-time. I don't know if he had a third. Yeah, he might have been 2-time.
That one with Big Show and Edge and Mania.
25, I think that was.
Yeah. Then another one when he came back from injury, he won.
It's like, and I think those were just to get him higher in the rankings, for X-time champion.
So look at the top 3, and whose belt is it?
Evolution's belt. That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Flair's belt, and all 3 of them are.
Yeah. And whose belt was it originally?
Flair's. Yeah.
Flair's.
I mean, I'm keeping Triple H at number 1, but probably my second would be Batista. He's kind of like one of the people. Whenever I think of that belt, he's one of the people that I think of. Honestly, whenever I was looking at the list, and this might surprise you for me saying this, I don't know if Daniel Bryan deserves to be on that list in the top 10. Like he had that good moment of cashing in his Money in the Bank to get that title. But then Jason, you kind of brought this up when we were talking last week about the WrestleMania, what was it, 13-second match?
Mm-hmm.
And whenever he lost it, and like I think when I think Daniel Bryan, I think WWE Championship run, not World Heavyweight Championship run.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I might put like a Dolph Ziggler up there, just for his cash in more than Daniel Bryan's run.
Nah, I'm not putting enhancement time up there.
Don't do that.
Enhancement now.
Don't no. I'll do that to him because that's what he is. Him and Baron Corbin.
All right, not a bad debate. This I'm not mad at that.
We can do another one in 10 years whenever they retire the title and look back at who the next champions were.
Roman be number 1.
Roman be the only one, probably.
All right. We got final thoughts, and we got anything else?
I'm good. Let's go. Anything?
Mumbers. Pro.
What up? What up?
What up, Pro?
Mom Marks.
Oh, the body. I'm good.
Got the quote of the week.
Yep. Oh, we're just going right into the quote of the week. No final thoughts, no nothing. Well, since this dumb Mark is continue to be a jag-off and not plugging the show at the end. Thanks for tuning in to episode 135 of the Dumb Marks podcast. Each and every single Saturday, you can catch us live at 11 a.m. Head on over to Anchor and download.
See,
YouTube.
don't even get it right.
Click the link, subscribe, check the bell for notifications. Email the show, dumbmarkspod@gmail.com. Head on over to Pro Wrestling Tees, prowrestlingtees.com/dumbmarkspod. Get a t-shirt. We'll read you a live shout out on air. And tag Chris and call him a jag off on every single social media platform.
Bro, we were taking a verbal break. We like to just take time at the end of the shows to recoup.
Taquan.
Jeez. Taquan, we got this is a peaceful show between the commenters. We're not gonna put that out there. Pro, just know you got verbally attacked there, Pro. So just know we got your back in those situations.
Pro's gonna go
Yeah,
back
we can't put that up.
Twitch so you can see that comment, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, so we are in May. I wasn't on the show last week because I was at my niece's graduation. She graduated from IUP college. Great day with family. It was a very proud moment to see her walk across that stage. The number of chords she had was, geez, oh man, the number of chords and everything else, accomplishment wise, I couldn't be more proud of her. So shout out to my oldest niece, doing her damn thing. Best of luck to you in your future, and may it bring you a ton of fulfillment and prosperity, as well as all the other graduates that graduated. Life will punch you in the face. Just keep it moving.
I will too.
You'll be all right. Jason will too. Yeah. Choosing balance. With that being said, we are in May, so we are in Mental Health Awareness Month. You know how we get down on the show when it comes to mental health. I'm a huge proponent of it. Been a big factor of my life the last 10, 12 years. I know I got a lot of work to do still, and continuing to do that. So anybody out there that's struggling with anything, hey, hit us up as always, because there's nothing more than feeling like you're out there alone, and you're not. Trust me. More people go through it than what you can imagine. So we're here. We're always going to support that. We're always going to look out no matter what goes on. If we know you, hit us up for sure. If we don't know you, hit us up anyways. So with that being said, and it being Mental Health Awareness Month, this week's quote of the week for you is Control-Alt-Delete. Control-Alt-Delete. Control yourself, alter your thinking, delete negativity. Control yourself, alter your thinking, delete negativity. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in this week to Dumb Marks Podcast. We'll catch you around next Saturday at 11 a.m. And I'm a Mark, you're a Mark, tell a Mark. Until next time, y'all can catch us around the way.